Welcome back to B.D.A Law, guys. I am Brago, and today we're going to talk about and break down One Piece chapter 1006. And of course, we have a color spread. Luffy, Kid, Law, well, they're on the cover of Jump, where it mentions the battle versus the Beast Pirates. It's nearing its climax. It's weird. I almost feel like we've just gotten started, even though we haven't. So, we'll see. Because something in a chapter gave off that energy. Like the climax is fast approaching. So we'll talk about that as well. People have been talking about the color spread as well, because King is in the middle, based on what happened this chapter. And Jack at Kaido's right hand, people are now declaring Jack the official right hand of Kaido, which I'm like, guys, please calm down. But I would like for you guys not to be calm and go and click that subscribe button. Maybe you're here for the first time, or maybe you watched a video before. Now is the time to subscribe. And when you do, just let me know below, because I would certainly appreciate that. But guys, let's talk about it. One Piece 1006. So Bao Huang, she's found Momonosuke, right? And we know Kaido's setup, it seems to be a bit more sophisticated than we initially thought. He was supposed to be the brute, the person that doesn't care about anything, but he has a very interesting setup. I like it. Yamato and Shinobu are currently evading, but since they have been located, someone should be after them. Not sure who it could be, but someone of note should probably stumble into them at some point, or they may stumble into a situation. Sanji finds himself in another quagmire, right? But now he has to decide where he would be needed more. We've seen that Jack is on his way to the Scabbards to finally settle that score with the Minks and Raizo. And Momo and Yamato seem to be in no immediate danger, so why would he go there? So the logical and obvious choice would be the Scabbards, with Jack bearing down on them, and possibly Hiyori being there trying to save them. She would be very vulnerable, and Sanji, after seeing her, was jealous that Zoro had time with her. So it would be a neat way to have her interact with him as well. I do think Oda could go the opposite, unexpected way here and have him go to Momo and Yamato for a reason I cannot see yet, but One Piece is typically unpredictable, and so for this situation I foresee it going the same way, to be unpredictable. But Oda, of course, has surprised us all before. In any case, whatever Sanji decides to do will have a major impact on the outcome. With Jack roaming around like he is, it feels a bit better knowing Sanji isn't around to help. I know Sanji gets constant slander because he's not one of the individuals that's on the rooftop, but I think where Sanji is needed is on the ground here, with again powerful individuals still roaming around with no one to stop them, and Sanji could be that guy. I mentioned the climax of the Wano War, or the fight versus the Beast Pirates, being close, and even if it doesn't necessarily feel like it, what gave me this idea is the floating island of Onigashima is just past a mountain in Wano. So we're currently over Wano and we're headed towards the capital. That's how close we are. Because I have the feeling of Wano that we have a lot of time left, right? Like that Wano could seep into 2022. But as the events are progressing, not many plot points are greater than the impending doom of the capital, which should coincide with the current battles. But there are several theories around that in regards to Onigashima and what could stop it. But at this point, it's pretty hard to kind of narrow down anything concrete. But I'm sure you guys have heard about the Momo theory, in which he's matured by Shinobu, but after being matured, he will be the one to make the island float. But I asked the question, should Momo be able to make an island float in that capacity equal to Kaido, even if he is matured, right? Because it seems to be more a technique than anything. But we've seen Momo do something on a much smaller scale in comparison to what Kaido is doing now. So it seems like a bit much in regards to Shinobu doing that. It feels like a leap or a stretch, but with growth and Devil Fruit, it works a bit differently based on how old you are, and we could use Kaku and Sabo as examples of this. But I point all that out to say that the end is closer than we think, and we may have to start thinking a bit differently and consider that possibility, right? There have been a lot of mention, I'm sure you guys have heard this, about the axe and the tragedy that must occur. These things don't have to happen, right? They don't. Oda can go whatever route he wants to take. He can follow the traditional sense of, the axe and this play, but we may just have already had the tragedy, or it may be upcoming. But before we talk about that, we got to talk about one of the more overlooked badasses in the series. Perospero. I need to give him his credit, because if you didn't enjoy anything else in this chapter, seeing Perospero spit absolute truth to Carrot felt really good, even though he's technically the antagonist. It wasn't a typical villain gloat, right? It felt reasonable. And it was true, so you agreed with him. Also, he let them live, even after that entire situation where he was attacked because of something Pedro chose to do. Peros has always been a thinker, all the way back since Whole Cake Island, and he realized that they just weren't worth that effort and that he could be needed or used elsewhere, right? Almost in a way, it feels like Sanji's in the same predicament where he feels like he's needed somewhere, but where? There's also the possibility that Sanji runs into Perospero again, right? That's definitely possible. And then it's like, oh, the Vinsmoke boy, we were supposed to kill you back then, right? That'll be some interesting dialogue, but we'll see. To where Chopper is, right? Individuals are almost out of stamina, and he, Chopper, is working diligently to procure this medicine. It does feel like a countdown, but it is slowly attempting to build tension involving every current plot point, right? I see what Oda's doing with that. Because even in this area, we have Apu, who is surprisingly still alive and well, along with Hyogoro and ex-Drake. Although it seems like Oda has a plan for Apu, or else he would be knocked out by now, as everyone has had a shot at him, right? He may flip at some point, but for right now, he's still standing pat. Hyogoro, as previously mentioned, was one of the focuses of the chapter as he returned to what we could consider his prime form. That was the form that he had when Kaido was trying to recruit him. So he was strong enough for Kaido to notice him and say, hey, I want you on my side. But it seems that due to the virus, having him on the brink of death, it then allowed him to draw out his dormant strength in exchange for his remaining life force. It's a lot, but that's how it's working right now. I know you could almost instantly think of Lao Ji and his Geo Fist, but it's slightly different even though there was a comedic life return hint, right? That happened in Dressrosa, but this is much more serious. It does seem like Hyogoro could be the man or the person who dies here, as his journey seems to be at its end. I can't think of anything else he needs to do or see. And also, being the noble man that he is, he told them to kill him just in case he got too far due to his overwhelming strength, and no one in the hall would be able to stop him. But I really liked the call back to Odin and them possibly defeating Kaido, and then him absolutely dominating Hote. We had some expectations for it, but he's out now. But Hyogoro can rest now. Now for Marco, I'm not going to say too much in regards to getting in depth here, right? We've said a lot that needs to be said and should be said, and I have a video coming tomorrow about Marco. But I'll say this, Marco being lauded and given credit right now will not be met with any resistance from me, even if people choose to overrate him in my eyes. I think he deserves it all based on just how much abuse he's taken throughout the years. He is going absolutely crazy by showing amazing techniques such as shockwaves and a mastery of his devil fruit, right? The technique he used after King sliced his wing reminded me of Yamcha's Spirit Ball, because it seems like he cut the wing, then Marco was able to utilize that flame, roll it into a ball, then send that at King, and then he followed it up with a knee. And the dialogue after demolishing Queen was even better. If that's not a flex, I don't know what the heck is. This was the Bluebirds chapter. This is Marco's chapter, but what do you know? Perospero is here now. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? There are multiple serious situations set up, like I said, but what does Oda do? Which one is priority? What happens first? There's so many different things going on that you can't help but enjoy or just be excited for everything that's to come. And we didn't even touch on everything here, right? Obviously, we didn't go to the rooftop. And there's still Jinbei and Who's Who. That's still going on. Robin and Black Maria should be in full effect with Brook as well. So there's a lot going on, but we're excited for the next chapter. No break, which is, that's the MVP every week. I say if it's no break, it's the MVP. But guys, fantastic stuff. I cannot wait for next week, but give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate all you guys so much. Guys, like, subscribe, and I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.